Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, coming to you on a holiday Monday. North of the border here, we've got Family Day, and other provinces call it different things, but we've all got a holiday here. And south of the border, our American friends are celebrating President's Day. So everybody's off. There was some games in NHL today early, but no games in the NBA because they're on their all-star break. We've got all-star weekend to break down here with Jason Cameron. We've got a little bit of UFC to talk about. Not really much else. It'll be probably a shorter podcast tonight, but happy Family Day to you, Jason. I hope you had a nice long weekend so far.
Yeah, happy Family Day to you as well. And yes, it was a good long weekend. It was a very relaxing long weekend. I did not do much, which was exactly what the doctor ordered.
Nice. I knew you were set up for a date, though. How did the date go?
Actually, the date went well. It looks like there will be another one. So happy to report.
Nice to hear. Right on. Yeah, well, it's always a good thing if you get a second date out of the deal.
Yeah, it usually is. It means the first date went well. So that's good. That's good.
A lot of people at work were giving you helpful hints and ideas. Did you take any of those, or did you just throw them away and do your own thing?
Yeah, I parking lot a lot of those ideas and advice. I just said, I'll just put that in my parking lot and never visit it ever again. So yeah, a lot of the advice that was given was something that no one should take.
Okay.
No one.
Good. So I guess you didn't make the mistake of eating on the way to the date like I heard you did before.
Well, we only needed to do that one time. And I learned from it. I learned these things. So yes, I went to the date hungry. Actually, you know what? We went to Cactus Club and we both got the same dish, the spaghetti portofino, I believe that's what it was called. And it was very good. Nice. Spaghetti dish with like seafood in it, lobster, crab. It was good. It was good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Making me hungry. I haven't ate dinner yet. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have asked about dinner because now I'm going to be thinking about it the whole podcast.
I know, right? And now that I've just talked about dinner, I haven't had eaten dinner yet either. Made myself hungry.
Great. So it's the 21st of February. We're 3 weeks into Black History Month. Just one more week to go. We'll actually be doing our next podcast on the 28th. Has Black History Month gone? Do you think that there's been enough made of it? Enough things that you're seeing around North America?
You know what? Well, obviously it happens kind of every year. I find that as years go on, there's more emphasis put on Black History Month, which is always a good thing. And from what I've seen so far from TV or stuff on the news or just being out and about, yeah, I think at least it's there. It's noticeable, which is a good thing. It's people know that it is Black History Month, where there might have been years past where they didn't know it was Black History Month. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Awareness is good. So
yeah. One thing I noticed, I don't think they showed it this past weekend with the UFC, but I think they showed it a couple weeks ago. They talked about the first Black champion in UFC history, and he's actually Canadian. Carlos Newton, the very first UFC champion. And yeah, I'm hoping to get him on a podcast. I've had an opportunity to talk to him on a couple of occasions at other events, and yeah, I would love to talk to him and talk to him about Black History Month and being a pioneer, being the very first champion, a Black champion, and from Canada. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that was he was an excellent fighter. He was an awesome fighter to watch. I always loved watching his fights, and he was a great ambassador for the sport and for the race and culture of Black people across Canada. So yeah. I was overjoyed when he won, and it was always a pleasure to watch him fight. It's a great fighter.
Yeah, it was actually a big upset. Pat Milicic, he was able to beat, and Milicic at the time had one of the best gyms in the world, and yeah, it was a huge deal. And I'm glad that, that he's being recognized, so many years later. There's been a lot of talk about the NFL and the black head coaches and the lack thereof. Brian Flores brought it to light with his lawsuit against the NFL and 3 different teams. And the word just came today that he's been hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to be their defensive assistant and linebackers coach. And this is a team that already had a black head coach. So they've actually got the Rooney Rule in place because of them. So great on the Steelers for continuing to do this. But what's going on with the other franchises and the lack of hiring these black head coaches?
Well, there just seems to be like a ceiling for some and not for others.
Yeah.
And that ceiling is that the blacks can't get to those head coaching positions, which is not right. All you have to do is just look across the league and if you're going to try to tell me that there's nobody black that can actually fill the role of being a head coach throughout all those other teams, give me a break. That's absolutely not true. It's not true. So hopefully going forward into the future for the league, there'll be more parity when it comes to the hiring practices around the teams.
Yeah.
But maybe what actually needed to happen was this lawsuit to happen, and this lawsuit to actually maybe possibly push owners to reevaluate how they do their hiring practices.
Yeah, I agree. It's great that he got a job. There was worry there for myself and many others that he might be blackballed from the league. He might not get an opportunity from anywhere. So I'm glad that he has a job, not a head coaching job, but still great that he's part of a coaching team and a Steelers organization that made the playoffs this year. Going to go through a transition without Big Ben being there, but it must be great to be working with Mike Tomlin. A very legendary head coach and a great organization that's always done the right thing.
Yeah, it must be fantastic, first off, for him to get an opportunity to work in the league again, because I'm sure he probably thought, I guess that's it. I'm not working in the NFL anymore. So,
No.
And it was fantastic that he's able to work in the NFL again, even as his lawsuit's going through. And it's funny that, of course, it had to be the Steelers with their black head coach giving him the opportunity to come onto his staff and work. So, yeah, there's obviously synergy there, but it's a good kind of synergy because he's looking out for his coworker, for his colleague in the NFL.
Yeah. One more NFL note before we move on to UFC. Bengals safety Ricardo Allen announced his retirement today. 30 years old. He's walking away from the game. Was able to make the Super Bowl, have his highest high in the NFL, and walking away at 30 years old. Quite shocking. I feel a bit sad when I see a guy walk away that young, because I feel like at some point he's going to regret it. Later in life, he's going to think, well, I probably could have played a few more years. But this news came as quite the shock to me.
It is shocking. But whenever I hear about a young man deciding to retire early from the NFL, I always think, what are the things that we haven't heard of? What's his medical history like to make him have the decision to walk away from the game that he loves? Like, if there's something other than, for medical wise, kind of in the back, lurking in the background for him, saying that if I don't do this now, I could face major repercussions in the future for my health, then maybe that's why he walks away. We just never know about these certain things. But it's unfortunate that he has decided to walk away, because it's always great watching great athletes play the game of football. But if it's for the health of himself and or the betterment of his family, then it's always a good idea to walk away now.
True. Yeah. I wasn't able to hear, his reasons. Hopefully he'll have a press conference or some, social media post. We can find out exactly why he's decided right now, but hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he has a great post NFL career. And because, we do see some of these guys have a lot of troubles, when they have had injuries, especially we've heard a lot about head injuries in the last few years, and 30 years old, he should be able to still have a really, really great long life. Hopefully he's been wise with his money, and he's, used his education in a great way, and have a good, a long, long, long life.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully he has his accounts in order, so to speak, and has set up what he wants to do next with his life as he moves on from the NFL.
Yeah. All-Star weekend this past weekend in Cleveland. We don't have any games on the docket till Thursday. Definitely want to cover a lot of that after we talk about the UFC. Was really just absolutely so thrilled to see Steph Curry have such a phenomenal game. LeBron James hitting the game-winning bucket in Cleveland, the Ohio native. And they brought out the top 75 players at halftime and honored them. That was the thrill of my weekend, seeing all those great old timers come out. But we have an awesome UFC card to break down. There was a lot of cancellations off this card, and I was questioning and wondering if it was going to deliver a great entertaining product, but we saw the knockout of the year. We saw some really great debuts and a lot of fun fights to break down. I can't wait to break it down with you. How much did you enjoy this card?
It was pretty satisfying. There's a lot of stoppages, a lot more than I thought there would be. Like I was, especially the KO of the year that we're gonna get to. But I was quite happy with this card and how it turned out.
I'm glad. Yeah, it was really fun, and the main event got dropped off. It was Rafael dos Anjos against Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev had some visa issues, was not able to make the trip into Vegas, so they decided to move him move that fight a couple of weeks. The co-main event ended up becoming the main event. And there was some worry there that it just wouldn't deliver. But Jamahal Hill, he has probably one of the coolest nicknames when you actually see that he put somebody into the Sweet Dreams category. And just the absolute shot that stiffened up Johnny Walker, put him down, and then he landed one more shot as he was down to absolutely KO him. This is going to be on highlight reels for probably the rest of our lives. One of the wildest looking knockouts ever. Yeah,
he completely stiffened him with the most perfectly timed right straight that I've ever seen, because he caught Walker coming in and decked him right on the temple and shut his lights out immediately. That was an immediate KO. He was out as soon as his fist hit his head, and he was done.
Yeah, and it was so wild that seeing him go back on his heels and that fall like a tree in the forest. 6'6", huge guy. One of intimidating character. It was a very good back and forth fight until that shot landed, but Jamahal Hill put the light heavyweight division on notice and said, hey, I'm no joke. Look out for me. I'm coming.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. And he did that with emphasis, especially with the fact that how he lost to Paul Craig before. He has come back with a vengeance. And I think the other light heavyweights in the division are definitely taking notice of Jamahal Hill.
Yeah. There are a lot of fights scheduled for the top of that division. Glover Teixeira is the champion currently after he beat Jan Blachowicz. He is fighting next Yuri Prochazka, and that fight is May the 7th coming up. Prochazka is absolutely a killer, and this is going to be a heck of a fight. Really excited about this one. Then Blachowicz is scheduled against Alexander Rakic. Blachowicz is number 2 in the division and Rakic is number 4. and they're fighting on March the 26th coming up. And then we've got Thiago Santos. He's number 5 ranked in the light heavyweight division, and he's fighting Magomed Ankalaev, who's number 8 ranked, and they're fighting March the 12th. So it's coming up soon. And you mentioned Paul Craig, and he's got a fight against Nikita Krylov. Craig is currently ranked number 10, and Krylov is ranked number 13. So after Saturday, these new rankings came out. Jamahal Hill went from 12 to 11, past Volkan Ozdemir. Johnny Walker went from 10 down to 14 now. The only people that don't have fights currently scheduled are Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, and Paulo Costa in the light heavyweight division. We'll see. We'll see if Jamahal Hill gets a fight against one of these guys. Could be Ozdemir at 12, Reyes at 6, Smith at 7, or Paulo Costa at 9, moving up in weight. So pretty exciting people ahead. Lots of exciting fights that they've already got in this light heavyweight division.
Yeah, there's a lot of great fights to be had in this light heavyweight division. It's a murderer's row. I'm really looking forward to seeing who rises to the top, who challenges again for the belt after Glover does his successful or unsuccessful defense when he fights Yuri Prochazka. So it's going to be an exciting year for the light heavyweight division.
Yeah. What does Johnny Walker do from here? Was that something that will damage his reputation heavily?
You know what, the division's so hard that he's going to have to try to climb the ranks. He's going to have to prove himself once again. It's going to take him a while for maybe he even challenges another ranked opponent. He might be fighting another unranked opponent going forward for his next fight, maybe for his next 2 fights. But he's definitely it's going to take him some time to climb back up the ranking tree.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Johnny Walker did have COVID in January. Not sure if that impacted his performance. He said he was hit with it pretty hard, and it took him a few weeks to recover. So maybe the UFC gives him a little bit of a pass because of that. But this was a very massive knockout. Jamahal Hill immediately ran over and started yelling at Dana White and Khabib, who was sitting next to Dana White, telling them, look out, I'm coming, I want this belt. That was it's a KO that most of us are not going to forget for a long time.
Not for a long time. It was, he's stiffing him up. it was such a destructive knockout. So it's something that will definitely be living in the memories of all of us as fight fans.
It's blew me away. That was I wasn't expecting a knockout that spectacular and that that I would remember that much. It was absolutely incredible. Let's talk about a little bit about the co-main event. This was held at a catch weight. Kyle Dawkis and Jamie Pickett. Kyle Dawkis has had some difficulties and issues getting a fight, hasn't fought for a little while, and he finally was able to get in there, and they fought at 195. He was the biggest betting favorite going in against Pickett, and really showed that his submission game is absolutely massive. Pickett, I would be mad because he could have just lasted one more second and he was out of that first round, but he decided to tap, and Dawkis ended up getting the victory.
Yeah, he did. And it was close. He almost made it out of that round. It was so close. But credit to Dawkis for putting on the pressure and going for the win. He could have just held the position and waited for the next round, but he went for it. And I got to give him credit for that. Because he managed to get the win when it seemed like there was no way that he was going to get that. I thought Pickett was going to be able to tough it out and wait till the next round, but that must have been one heck of a squeeze for him not to be able to make it.
Yeah, it was shocking. I couldn't believe it. Him and his corner must be kicking themselves now, realizing 1 second away from having another round. He wants to be, Kyle Dawkis now wants to be known as the Darce Knight. He said he's a massive Batman fan, and he said he wanted to submit a guy with a Darce choke and be called the Darce Knight. Do you think he adopts that nickname going in for his next fight?
I like it. That's actually a pretty cool nickname that he's given himself. I really like that nickname. I think he should go with it. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Yeah. He said he wants to corner his brother, who's fighting March the 26th. And then he would like to fight Tony Ferguson next. That was his big call out. He said, please, let's go, Tony. And I don't know if Tony will accept it, but yeah, that was pretty massive call out.
Well, isn't there a problem with that? Like, isn't Tony Ferguson like not in his weight division? Like not even close? like just not even close. Like, what is he doing? Like, what does he think he's gonna do? He's just like, you know what? I'll come down. I'll fight you at 155. Yeah, I know I'm normally a 185er, but I'll just chop off a leg and I'll come down and fight you at 155. Well, what does he do?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, if you call out a guy few weight classes, weight divisions below you, but we'll see if he can get down to something. Maybe they'll try to do a catch weight. He was able to get 195 on this one. Can he do a catch weight at 180 or we'll see.
Yeah, that's
probably not going to happen.
No, I don't think so. It's a little bit mind-boggling, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
call it who you want.
Okay, the fight before this one was a heavyweight battle. Couple of big boys. Parker Porter, he ended up winning this one as in a decision. I thought Alain Baudot was great in the first round. I think he gassed though, and Porter just kept it on him. Was able to grind out a 2 rounds to 1 victory, 29-28 on all 3 judges, and get the win. What did you think of this heavyweight battle?
Yeah, I basically thought that Porter was literally the busier fighter, and that, like yourself, that Baudot ran out of gas, and Porter had the better gas tank throughout the course of the fight. He wasn't that great on takedowns throughout the course of the fight, but the fact that he kept trying to take him down and wear him out, and I think that's what got the better of Baudot at the end of that fight, where Porter was still fresh and still coming after him, and Baudot, his striking frequency dipped exponentially as the rounds went on. So yeah, definitely Porter won that fight.
I was actually pretty excited to see Baudot fight. He's a teammate of Cyril Gane, and you know how great Gane has been, how you know, he seems like you know, a freak of nature and major athleticism. I was hoping that Baudot would be able to bring that type of thing, but the Black Samurai needs to go back to the drawing board and work on his cardio, because he looked good when he had full energy, but once that started dipping, Porter was able to just grind out this win, like I said.
Yeah. Once his stamina was depleted, Porter took over and imposed his will for the rest of the fight.
Yeah. Okay, this fight previous to that one was the lightweight battle, and we've got a legendary fighter in there, a guy that's had the most fights in UFC history, tied for the most wins, most submissions. He's just going on and on and on and on. Started his pro career in 2005, 17 years in. This is 14th year in the UFC. Jim Miller is still grinding out wins, even got a knockout win. It's incredible to see these guys at this advanced stage taking on guys that are making their UFC debut, so much younger, so much hungrier, but Jim Miller is able to get another big victory. It was impressive.
Yeah, the KG vet gets yet another knockout win, and caught him with a leaping right hook. I think he totally caught Mota off guard when he threw that punch. I don't think Mota was expecting that punch at all, because Jim really hadn't thrown that punch throughout the entire fight up to that point.
Yeah.
Caught him off guard and knocked him out. It was impressive.
Yeah,
Super
no, it was absolutely totally impressive, and he just took his chance and boom, was able to do it. I've always been impressive with Jim Miller's calf kicks. He really breaks down a guy with these kicks, and yeah, and I also loved that he walked out to Iron Man. Iron is Mota's nickname, and he walked out at Iron Man. Okay, I'll show you, haha. He's still, feisty. He's still, really, really tough. And yeah, just said, hey, young guy, look out, here I come. Starting to get, into that upper echelon where you're talking about the most appearances. This was his 39th fight in the UFC. He's yeah, that ties him with Cowboy Cerrone. He's got the most finishes, UFC history, tied for the most wins. He's fought on UFC 100, 200, UFC 201, Fight Night 201, and he wants to fight on UFC 300. That's a big goal of his. He said he's super busy, just wrote a cookbook. He's got all these things on the go. The guy is just incredible, and great to see somebody that's being able to just keep at it, and still winning, still doing great.
Yep, still winning, still doing great, still upper echelon fighter. He's just an example of longevity in the sport, in a sport that's as cruel as mixed martial arts is. He's an example of longevity. Somehow, some way, he's got it done and continues to get it done. So I hope he makes it to his goal of UFC 300, because he'll possibly be the only fighter to ever do anything like that ever in recorded history.
Yeah, definitely. I saw this really great posting today too about the UFC's promotional guidelines compliance pay, and Jim Miller got the highest pay for the card. They base it on how many fights that you've had in the UFC. Also, they count Strikeforce, WEC, some of the organizations that the UFC has absorbed. So fighters with 1 to 3 bouts receive $4,000 per appearance. 4 to 5 bouts, you get $4,500. 6 to 10, you get $6,000. 11 to 15, you earn $11,000 for your appearance. 16 to 20 bouts, you get $16,000, and 21 bouts and more, you get $21,000. So he was able to collect $21K. Champions earn at an additional $42,000, and title challengers get $32,000, but there was no belts on the line on this card. It was a complete payout of $140,000 to all the fighters. On the Adesanya Whitaker card last week, $282,500 was the total payout. Year to date, they've paid out $1 million, and in 2021, $6,167,500. And the program's just been around a little bit longer than that, just over $7 million. So I'm going to put a post up on the website of that. Pretty interesting to see these compliance guidelines that Venom is paying these fighters to, show up and wear their equipment, have the proper code of conduct, things like that. It's pretty good to see these payouts and see it in writing here.
Yeah, no, it's great, because this is what the fighters deserve. They deserve all of this because of what they put on the line for our entertainment. Yeah,
I love it. Okay, the fight that ended up starting off the main card was 2 amazing bangers that go in there. 2 guys that just look absolutely in crazy great shape. Huge men in a middleweight division fight between 2 guys that have really emerged on the scene over the past couple of years. Joaquin Buckley and Abdul Razak Al Hassan. This one went to decision. Nobody won any money because nobody thought this was going to go to a decision. This was crazy. I was just like, oh, somebody's going to sleep real soon. These guys are just too powerful. But it was a hell of a fight, even though it did go to the decision.
Yeah, it was. I, like yourself, thought that somebody was getting knocked out. Nobody did. But what I was impressed by was the movement of Buckley. Yeah. He made it hard for Al Hassan to track him down throughout the entirety of that fight, up until the third round, until finally Al Hassan seemed to have gotten his second win, so to speak, and started utilizing his wrestling. Because by that time, Buckley had finally tired out. Yeah. Because of all that movement he's been doing in the first 2 rounds, where he was clearly the winner, and he was picking them apart at distance and striking them. But and also too wearing down Al Hassan. Buckley was clearly the fresher fighter for those first 2 rounds, and then you saw his gas tank dip quite a bit in the third round. That's why Al Hassan was able to wrestle him to the mat, wrestle him to the ground, and dominate pretty much that third round. But that was unfortunately the only round that he did dominate. That's why Buckley won the fight.
Yeah, I was shocked that it went to a split decision, because I definitely thought Buckley had those first 2 rounds, but Al Hassan definitely won that third round. But yeah, it was impressive performance by Buckley. He made himself so elusive, great movement, and for such a big guy, he's light on his feet. It's pretty incredible. And you know, he just kept landing lots of takedowns. He wasn't keeping him down most of the time, but he was just kept landing takedown after takedown. Was really good at entries and getting him down. He just definitely has to, you know, secure a few more of those, and I think it would have been, you know, definitely a more dominating victory. But yeah, I love both these fighters. Super impressive, and great to see them battle against each other. This was supposed to happen about a month ago. Al Hassan did get injured and got postponed, but I didn't see anything that I thought obviously an injury was cropping up for Al Hassan. I think Buckley was just better on this night.
I think he was better. And like you said before, his takedowns were perfectly timed, usually under duck unders, or when he was ducking under a strike from Al Hassan, or when he caught Al Hassan coming forward, that he was able to take him down. So, and I agree with you. If he's able to just do a little bit more damage, a little bit more ground and pound with his positioning when he's on the ground, that could have been a blowout win for Buckley.
Yeah. Hassan is so powerful. He landed this big bomb in the third round, and luckily Buckley was able to get up and move away from it. But yeah, it looked like he was in a little bit of trouble there in that third round, but survived and got the victory. I mentioned this last week as we were previewing lots of cancellations on this card. Mokaev against Durden was canceled. McKenna against Elise Reed was canceled. Ilir Latifi against Romanov, and the Dos Anjos Fiziev fight was postponed for a few more weeks. So yeah, we definitely had a lot of drop-offs off this card, but yeah, there was still a hell of a lot of great fights, and the feature fight on the prelims was great. Gabriel Benitez against David Oyama, and Onama, and Onama really didn't come out like I normally see him do, but he quickly asserted his dominance and was able to land a super big power shot in Benitez and get the KO victory.
Yeah, because Benitez was definitely dominating this fight up until the point that Onama decided to turn it around. He was dominating it with his great leg kicks, taking out Onama's base, and he was hurting him with his strikes to the body and the head. Like, he was hurting Onama time and time again. Onama was able to utilize his wrestling and try to clear his head for a bit before he started to try to work his offense by going forward. he knew that he had to pressure Benitez by going forward because that was his best chance for victory. And he managed to do that when he landed that one flush punch and then the flurry of punches up against the cage at the end of the round, which sealed the deal. It was an amazing comeback. Amazing comeback.
No, it was really amazing comeback. And he just pressed forward, was able to land a shot, put Benitez a little bit leery. Benitez started trying to cover up a little bit. And then I think it was Dominic Cruz that counted 14 straight shots that finally put him out. Man, it was just crisp, accurate. Boom. There, Benitez didn't have a shot to clear his head, to move. Every time he did anything, boom, he was taking another shot. And Onama really showed that he's got severe power.
Oh yeah, he's got sincere power for sure, and it is no joke. And his combinations that he threw at the end of that fight, it was a 14 punch combination that finally put Benitez down. Yeah. So that's impressive in and of itself. Great win by Onama.
Another great African fighter, born in Uganda. He came here, spent a few years in Kansas City. Now he's part of the Glory MMA group with James Krause as the head coach there. He got $50K bonus for that. I failed to mention that Jamahal Hill and Kyle Dawkis also got $50K bonuses for their big wins. Benitez was 148. He didn't make weight. He missed it by 2 pounds. He forfeited 20% of his purse. Not sure why. I was expecting a lot of things out of Benitez, especially now that he has Cain Velasquez as his head coach. Cain had said a lot of amazing things about Mowgli before the battle. He said he's probably the best kicker they have in their camp. Was pretty shocked to hear that out of AKA that Benitez, according to Cain, has the best kicks in the whole camp.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that too, because like that camp has Luke Rockhold. He's definitely known for his kicks. So Benitez being a powerful kicker that he was, and you could tell in the fight that he wasn't hurting Onama with those kicks. Yeah. His kicks were being very, very effective, but unfortunately, this was clearly not his night.
No, it didn't turn out to be. Okay, I mentioned 50Ks for those three guys. Another 50K goes to Stephanie Egger for her submission victory over Jessica Rose Clark. She got her down with a judo throw, was able to transition to some submission attempts and finally get the arm bar tap submission and got 50K for her troubles. And this was a big upset. Most people had Jessica Rose Clark winning this quite easy, but Stephanie Egger said, no way, I'm doing this. Showed off her great judo skills. Harken back to kind of the way Ronda Rousey always won her fights.
Yeah, it seemed like that's exactly what it was. It was a great example of how she won her fights all the time. I thought Rose Clark would out-strength her opponent in this fight. Yeah. And that definitely is not what happened. I did not realize that Egger's technique was flawless. Yeah. Like her transition from the judo throw to just to the armbar submission was perfect. It was perfect. Like she did everything absolutely correct to get that, and didn't actually have to use any strength. It was all technique, all of it.
No, it was awesome. She had her in a bit of a scarf choke, and then was able to transition and force the tap with the armbar. You're right. Jessica Rose Clark usually outpowers her opponents. She's a former power lifter. She's had problems cutting weight and getting down to that bantamweight limit at 135. But this one, Egger said, hey, I'm going to show you my black belt in judo has a lot of meaning, and take that arm and make sure that she's not getting out of it. It was great. And good on her. 7-2 record. Look out for Stephanie Egger, that women's bantamweight division. Everyone's put on notice now. Do not clinch with her, because she's going to be able to probably take your arm, get a good submission win. Okay, the featherweight fight between Chaz Skelly and Mark Stragel had a lot of meaning because Chaz Skelly has decided that this would be his last fight. He didn't close the door 100%, but he said he's moving on to a second career. His body's not responding like he wants it to. He's had some injury troubles, hasn't had a lot of fights in the past few years. Yeah, what a way to go out. If he gets if this is his last fight, got a nice big knockout in the second round. I was very impressed with Chaz Skelly on this night.
I was too. And it's unfortunate that he actually has to call it a career for his MMA fighting profession, because he's got a great record. It's 19-3.
Yeah.
Like that's a really, really good record, strong record. But I understand what he's saying. If his body's not rebounding from the incredible amount of wear and tear that you have to take through the training and everything else, then it's probably a good idea for you to step away at this point in time. But the one thing that struck me in this particular fight was just how much bigger Skelly looked than his opponent.
Yeah,
he looked like a monster compared to Striegel. He really did. He was just such a bigger man, and I thought he would use that massive size to his advantage, which is what he did. Was he just grinded on Striegel, wrestled him, and then eventually in the second was able to land that beautiful knee, which was the beginning of the end for Striegel, and then grounded pound for the finish.
Yeah, he definitely had lethal knees, and that once that knee landed, dropped Striegel, and then ground and pound. Keith Peterson stopped it. Yeah, 19-3, and you're walking away. That's pretty crazy. But he shouted out his new roofing company he's a part of, and Paul Felder said, "Hey, I need a roof. Put a roof on my house." So he's got a customer immediately. Even just the second that he retired, he's already got a customer. So good on him. A lot of impressive performances by Chaz Skelly. This scrapper, he has been in a heck of a lot of really good battles, and it's a bit sad to see him go, but yeah, if he's already got a second career all set up, good on him.
Yeah, exactly. If it sounds like he's ready to go on to his next part of his life, next part of his career, and leave the fighting behind him. So good luck to Chaz Skelly. It was an honor just watch him fight in the UFC.
Yeah, good luck, Chaz. Yeah, good for you. Okay. I don't have a ton to talk about with the women's strawweight fight between Gloria DePaula and Diana Belbita. They just seemed to throw a lot. Both of them were very busy. Yeah, it's just very even fight that I didn't love it, but yeah, DePaula ended up getting the decision. Do you have much to add to it?
No, I don't. Just the fact that it was entertaining in the fact that they fought in a phone booth pretty much for the 3 rounds. Neither woman really backed up any throughout the course of that fight, which I was impressed by. I was impressed by the fact that they were willing to trade and exchange and impose their will on each other. It was a very close fight, but I gave the edge to DePaula at the end.
Yeah. Belbita, originally from Romania. She's spent a lot of years in Ontario. She's from a town called Stony Creek, Ontario. So she had a Romanian flag and a Canadian flag sewed together, and was behind her in the cage. Good to see a Canadian there. And yeah, I thought she fought great. But yeah, I thought DePaula was just a little bit better on this night. And it's great to see Canadians in there. Yeah, great to see that she's representing the country well. I wouldn't you shouldn't hang your head over this fight. You fought a great fight, but I'm looking forward to seeing her again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her again too. Again, it was a very, very close fight, and she has nothing to be ashamed of, and hopefully she can get the W in her next one.
Love to talk about the bantamweight fight between the debut of Chad Anhelger and Jesse Strader. Chad is a Canadian as well. He came in and put on a phenomenal performance. I thought Jesse Strader actually was great in the first round, but The monster was able to come out and get this massive KO. Great victory. I love seeing this Canadian come in. 35 years old, making his UFC debut. The other thing that blows me away is he started his career 2-5, and now he's won 10 in a row. He got himself into the UFC, and for the debut, it went really, really well.
Yeah, he couldn't have gone any better. Yeah, he fought a tough opponent. Basically tired him out after the first round. Strader was still game. I will say this throughout the course of that fight. I thought he mixed up his striking very well, but Helger, I thought one of his best strikes that he threw throughout the course of that fight was throwing knees right up the middle. His knees were deadly and they were very, very effective. And then finally in the third, where he hit him with those huge right hooks that dropped Strader, and then finished him with a ground and pound near the end of the third round. It was a great win by our Canadian and Helger.
Yeah, I loved it. He's finished 10 of his 12 wins with 7 knockouts. Awarded a contract in the Dana White Contender Series. He fights out of Calgary. He's actually originally from Kelowna, but fights out of Calgary. Brian Bird is his main coach. They have a gym there called Champions Creed. When he joined that gym, as I said, he was 2-5, and the coaches said, we've got to completely break you down and build you back up. We need to break some of these bad habits that you've got, and we're going to spend some time trying to get you to the point we think you need to be. So he didn't fight for 2 years. He started fighting with white belts, back to the grassroots, was able to put his ego aside, be humble, and 10 wins in a row. Super great. And he must be over the moon, making his UFC debut finally and getting the massive win. I'm super excited to see him. I hope he gets an opportunity to fight very soon.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that, and that's just a great story. It's a great story of perseverance and knowing what you need as opposed to what you think you need. Yeah. It's because he needed to strip down all his tools that he brought to the octagon and just do a complete reassessment. So, and once he did that, now he has he's getting all the wins that he's ever wanted, and it's now led him to get into the UFC. So.
When they did the tail of the tape, I was a little concerned. Strader had a 5.5-inch reach advantage, which is very big with the arms as well as the legs. I thought Strader would be able to utilize that advantage. Helger is a small guy, short arms, but he used his proper tactics, was able to get in there and get the big win. Yes, this probably was one of my favorite things to see, because I love seeing a guy that's faced some adversity, kept at it, and he's in there now. Look out, bantamweight division. I think you've got a new contender coming up.
Yeah, there's definitely a new sheriff in town, and it's great to see that it's a Canadian.
Yeah. Do you want to mention any of the other fights? There wasn't much on the early prelims to talk about. I don't think. A couple of decisions to start off the card. Should we move on?
Yes, let's move on. Let's move on for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I heard a really great interview, Ariel, Helwani, and Bobby Green today. They've had some issues in the past, and Bobby Green told him why he hadn't been talking to him for a really long time. But once they finally got that out of the way, Bobby Green talked about him accepting a fight 2 weeks after being in the octagon, and he's fighting one of the scariest guys in their division, Islam Makhachev. It's going to be a catchweight fight because Bobby Green had went from 155 to 195. He had put on or no, was it 145 they fight it? He had put on like 40-50 pounds immediately, and he said he's dropped something like 40 pounds in the past 3 days, and he's trying to fight this guy. He's called everybody else in the division a bunch of pussies because they wouldn't accept the fight. And he said, no, I'm taking this as a great opportunity and I can't wait. Main event coming up next Saturday. I'm excited. I love Bobby Green. I think maybe he bit off a little more that he can chew with Makhachev and being on short notice like this, but good on him. He's willing to get in there and help the UFC make sure this fight happens.
He's brave. He's incredibly brave to take this fight on because that guy is he's the monster lurking in the dark. That's what Islam Makhachev is for that division. And I give Bobby Green a lot of credit in the world, but man, he's going to be in it tough. And I believe he knows that. The other question is, how did he put on that much weight in that short amount of time? He was just in the octagon. Like, he was just there.
Yeah.
Like, how did he do that? Like, has he just been eating barbecue the entire time? Like, just barbecue, like steaks.
He said he's addicted to sushi and he went all you could eat sushi for days. Yeah, putting like 50 pounds on within a week, that's pretty nutty. He said he's a big guy. He walks around at that kind of weight all the time. He's always been a big guy and has to drop a lot of weight, but he said he's gonna do it. They're making it at a catch weight, so he doesn't have to get quite down to it, but but yeah, good on him. This is a killer. This is a guy that's destined for maybe the top of the division, maybe holding the belt at some point. And Bobby's like, no, I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm in there. Let's do this.
Yes, again, he's extremely brave. He's extremely brave, but I expect him to come out, and I expect this to actually be a very good fight. I really do. Even with the fact that Makhachev is just a scary, scary individual, I think Bobby Green will be bringing his best, regardless of the weight cutting.
Yeah, well, you and I love watching him fight. He's got such an entertaining style. Maybe that's a style that gives Makhachev a little bit of trouble because it's so unorthodox and difficult. When a guy holds his hands down as low as Bobby Green, I think it's very hard to take a guy like that down because he's constantly ready. He's ready for the takedowns. He's got the ability to get the underhooks, get the ability to push off, keep the guy at distance a little bit. He might be one of the toughest guys to take down because he never keeps his hands up. He keeps them all the way down.
Yeah, that's true. He is ready for the takedown, and it's going to be interesting to see how Makhachev adjusts to that and how he possibly change his takedowns. He may try one to change it into something else, just to try to get Bobby down to the mat. But once he gets him there, then he has to keep him there. And Bobby's been shown to be very good at popping right back up immediately after being taken down.
True. Yeah. The co-main event has Canadian Misha Cirkunov fighting Wellington Turman. Cirkunov has lost his last two fights. His last victory is against Jimmy Crute going back to September of 2019. He's kind of had hit and miss in the last little while. What do you think we're going to see in this one?
This could well turn into a grappling match. I think Turman knows that his best chance of winning this fight will be on the mat. And I think this is going to be a grappling heavy match. Don't know who's going to win. I think it's going to be very close, but I think, we'll be seeing a ton of grappling for this particular matchup.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Any other fights that you want to mention on the card?
Just that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing this guy fight again at the beginning of the card, the Gregory Rodriguez against Armin Petrosian. I liked Rodriguez when I first saw him. It seems like he has a ton of upside and a ton of power. So I want to see how he does against Petrosian in this fight. I'm very interested in this fight.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this card coming up, but I'm really excited about UFC 272. We're just less than 2 weeks away. We've got Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, former training partners, former friends who really dislike each other. It's going to be a great war of words. Embedded are going to be fun to watch. The weigh-ins are going to be great. These two really don't like each other, and this is going to be a heck of a war.
It's going to be a heck of a war. They really, truly do not like each other. Like, there's real animosity, real hatred. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a great main event. I'm quite excited to see how it all plays out, and also to the co-main event. For the main event that we missed this time will be on this particular fight card, and you couldn't have a better co-main event. This is the fight that I've marked that I'm definitely looking forward to watching.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I was chomping at the bit. I wish it was this weekend, but a couple of weeks, less than 2 weeks away, and there's an amazing amount of great fighters on this card. Edson Barbosa, Bryce Mitchell, Kevin Holland fights Alex Cowboy Oliveira. We've got Greg Hardy and Sergey Spivak fighting a heavyweight battle. On and on and on. There's some really good fighters on this card, and this is going to be incredible to watch. UFC 272.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It's going to be another great night of fights, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a watcher for sure.
Yeah. Just a couple of UFC notes before we move on. There's been announcement of the next Eagle FC battle. The main event will be Kevin Lee fighting Diego Sanchez. Khabib Nurmagomedov was cage side for this one, and he's putting together this battle between Diego and Kevin Lee, two former UFC guys that have just recently got cut. That's who he's targeting right now, but I expect we're going to see some amazing cards put together by this Eagle FC promotion.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, he's obviously, Khabib is very familiar with all the fighters, whether it be in the UFC organization or other organizations. And I have a feeling that, not a feeling, I think it's going to have to be a must, that Khabib is going to be treating his fighters well, that whoever fights for his promotion. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it all comes about, how it looks like, and how the fights are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I can't wait. I think this is going to be one of the best promotions out there, and lots of impressive fighters. I'm sure Khabib's going to be able to convince to come over there. He's always been very professional, and I think it's going to be a rival league eventually to the UFC, I think.
Oh yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the NBA. We had a phenomenal weekend. All-star festivities were really great in Cleveland. Cleveland has put on the All-Star game at the 35th year of the NBA, the 50th year of the NBA, and the 75th year of the NBA. Not sure why the NBA has decided to have those three legendary years there, but the 50th had the top 50 players in NBA history. This one, they invited the top 75 players in NBA history. And that 50th, at the time, there was only one person that had passed away out of that top 50 list. That was Pistol Pete Maravich. This time, there was quite a few of the legends that were gone. So sad to see, but 11 active players are on that list. Most of them showed up for this. And it was great to see those top 75 players come in. I got a bit emotional. A lot of the guys said they did as well. It was incredible, a rousing ovation that Michael Jordan got when they mentioned Kobe Bryant, things like that. It was, to me, the best part of the All-Star weekend.
Yeah, by far and away for myself, that was the best part of the All-Star weekend, was just to see the commemoration of all of the best 75, just to see all the generations being represented, of all the basketball royalty, basically all the guys that are the best of the best. It was saddening to see so many that have passed away, but that's something that we're going to have to get used to with the march of time. But it was also too, it was awesome to see some of the guys that are still playing in the league that are now considered to be part of that top 75. Yeah, I certainly enjoyed it. I loved seeing the old and the new guys together in that 75. There's so many guys that are in that 75 that I loved watching as a kid. Gary Payton, the glove with his defense, Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight film, with those incredible dunks. Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome to see.
I'm going to pull up the list so our viewers on YouTube can see it, and on their website, you can stop it and go through the list. Pretty impressive list. Starts with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Ray Allen, Giannis, down and down and down. It's not categorized any way. It's just, yes, it is alphabetically here categorized. But yeah, as I said, 11 active players. We've got LeBron, Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Carmelo Anthony, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, and Damian Lillard are all active. And a lot of these legends are past their career, but yeah, I'm glad they're still recognized. And it was great to see so many of them come out. I was a little bit disappointed though that they didn't have chairs for the guys. The only guy that had a chair was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they were expecting him to stand for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It just lasted a really long time, and some of these guys are in their 70s, maybe even older. And I was like, come on, guys, they should have all had chairs, had the ability to sit down. They put their bodies through a heck of a lot, and for only one chair to be there for Kareem, it was a little bit weird.
It was a little bit weird. He was like, okay, how about this? Get all the old guys a chair, and then the young guys can stand. That's what I would have seen. That's what I was expecting to see. I wasn't just expecting Kareem to have a chair, and that's it. I love the fact that Shaq was the one that pulled out the chair and made sure that Kareem was sitting down. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, like I was just like, no, guys, you have to have chairs for those older hoopers, man, for our older generation. The young guys can stand. They can do that. But the old guys should get a chair.
Yeah. Were you shocked at the ovation that Michael Jordan got?
No. No, come on, man. Why would I be shocked at that? No,
well, he killed Cleveland so often in the playoffs. They booed Steph Curry because of him beating them in the playoffs. I guess they've just forgiven him and forgot about that, I guess.
No, I don't think they forgot. I don't think they'll ever forget. It's too traumatic. But the thing is, he doesn't play anymore. He's retired now. So It's just like, let's let bygones be bygones. Yeah, you killed us all the time, Michael. But who didn't he kill? Right?
True.
Hey, who didn't he kill?
That's true, yeah. The other thing that I noticed was when Ray Allen came out, he started shaking hands with some of the guys and immediately got snubbed by Kevin Garnett. I can't believe that feud is still going. Garnett was just like, no, I'm not looking at you. I'm not even going to acknowledge your presence. There was a picture taken with all the old Celtics and those new generation of Celtics, and Ray Allen was not in the picture, was not invited. I can't believe they're still holding that grudge that he decided to go to Miami and win a championship or two there at the end of his career, and KG is not forgiving him for it.
No, KG is one of those cats. He's one of those guys. He'll never forgive him. That's just the thing. There will never be a reconciliation between those two. It will never happen. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. It kind of sucks, but that's their choice. That's KG's choice. I saw that Paul Pierce he gave Ray Allen a bit of a nod.
Yeah.
It wasn't as warm as it could be, but at least it was something, as opposed to KG's nothing, which will always be a thing. He will give that man nothing.
Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, because that was such a legendary year and great championship for the Celtics, and those three together were, one of those first teams that just, were able to assemble three absolute greats. And, that you'd think that it would be water under the bridge, Garnett left Minnesota to go to be a super team with there. Ray Allen decides to leave Boston and go to Miami and create a bit of a super team there. But Garnett has not forgiven him yet.
No, and you never will. You never will. Who knows what else was said behind the scenes, but it was pretty evident that once Ray turned his back on KG would never, ever, ever forgive him.
Yeah. It was a bit sad. The mentioning of Kobe Bryant, that he wasn't there. He definitely, should be there and was sorely missed. I was glad to see there are 2 trophies now named after Kobe Bryant. One went to the All-Star MVP, Steph Curry. We'll get to that in a second. Another one, a humanitarian award, went to Chris Paul and all his work for the WNBA and off-court things. Great to see him honored that way. Great to see some of his family there. I could tell he was sorely missed.
Yeah, of course he was sorely missed. He's one of the greats, one of the greatest. And it was just unfortunate that he was taken from the basketball world all too soon.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to the game. It was one of those all-star games where you're like, okay, no defense. We're gonna see some great dunks. We're gonna see some, fun plays, but no fouls, no defense. Probably in the 180 to 181 kind of range. And, all of a sudden, out comes Steph Curry, and he started electrifying the audience. He got thoroughly booed early, but they were cheering him loudly as he just showed his absolute incredible sharp shooting skills and just obliterated the 3-point record, put up 50 points, 16 3-pointers, and he made that game so fun to watch.
He showed why he's the best shooter that anybody has ever seen in the league, period. He showed that night. I couldn't believe it when he had already had 8 threes and it didn't seem like the game had even started. Like, it was just like, didn't the game just start? He already has 8 threes. That's impressive. Finishes with 16 threes. 16 threes. Oh. And he's supposedly kind of going through a shooting slump. Yeah, maybe I think that's going to help him. I think that's going to help him going forward for the rest of the year. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, he hit from everywhere and anywhere. It didn't matter. If he's behind the 3-point line, he's going to make it. Yeah, I was super impressed.
Yeah, I'm wearing the Steph Curry shirt in his honor today. He just it was so fun to watch. And as he got up there, you saw that Anthony Davis had the record for 52 points and set in 2017, and you thought, just got to hit one more, and he's got it. He hit one floater that gave him the 50, and he had a few opportunities at that 3-pointer, and I thought it was just going to be, he's going to nail this 3, and they're going to get to 163 and win this game. But it turned out pretty cool because LeBron was able to get his winning shot in Cleveland, hometown, kind of poetic justice to be the final shot of the game. And LeBron was, widely cheered. There, obviously are still some people upset at him there for leaving, but I think they still love him there. And it was kind of cool to see him get the winning shot.
Yeah, because he's a Cleveland guy. He's always going to be a Cleveland guy. It doesn't matter where he ends up traveling to or playing to, he will always be a Cleveland native. Yeah. So it was awesome to see that he had the opportunity to win the game on the final shot. And LeBron just did what he's always done. He hit the final shot and he won the game.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, he was great in that game. A lot of amazing dunks and a lot of amazing shots. And that was a fun team. I actually, when I looked at both teams, I thought, yeah, I actually love this team that's been assembled, Team LeBron. I was cheering for them a bit. And without Kevin Durant there, it was Team Durant against Team LeBron. I thought LeBron was probably going to pull out the victory, but yeah, it was fun. Most All-Star games to me, they're not that great. I think it took to, almost, I think it was in the fourth quarter when they finally had one foul. I think there was about 5 fouls given in the whole game, maybe about 3 trips to the line. So, to me, it's a poor representative of how basketball should be played, and how it's a lot more enjoyable when there's defense. But watching Steph Curry, I was glad I tuned in and watched it.
Yeah, so was I. And also too, like, nowadays the All-Star game is just about the sheer entertainment. Yes, you're never going to see defense again. This is gone are the days where the All-Star game actually started being played seriously because Michael Jordan was there and he was going to win no matter what. Yeah. Didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was a nothing game. He's going to win. And so that intensity always seemed to flame out to everybody else. And then that's when they were just like, oh, Mike wants to play for real? Okay, then we're going to play for real. All right? Yeah. But nowadays, it's just about the dunks, the alley-oops, the fast breaks, and the threes. Yeah. And some cool passes. Sprinkling on some cool passes. You got yourself an all-star game with no defense. All right.
That's the way it goes. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Okay, why don't we talk a little bit about the All-Star Saturday night? Most people are saying that the best part of the whole night was the 3-point shooting contest, because the dunk contest was a really, really big dud. It was bad. There was so many attempts at dunks that they couldn't make, and they got another chance and another chance and another chance. They were trying to up the creativity and get these spectacular dunks, and oh man, it was really tough to keep watching. This was the worst dunk contest I think they've ever had, and I think there might be some changes to it because of this.
There should be. It wasn't very good. Yeah. Okay. I literally, that's all I got. Like, yeah. It just wasn't very good. Like, you had a bunch of guys in there, like Juan Toscano Anderson, like it's just a bunch of dudes that you're just like, well, who's that again? Is that Obi Toppin? Oh, okay, all right, that's cool, I guess. And not that Obi Toppin was a good dunker. He won, and he was good. Like, but it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't on the realm of Vince Carter. It's not that anymore, I guess. We're just not going to see that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I think they should incentivize it somehow, get some of the stars in there. Love to see a guy like John Morant. You'd love to see, some of these spectacular young players in there. I think they should be putting some money on the line. There was a lot of money raised for charity for the actual game on Sunday. I don't see why they can't get some sponsorship and put some money on the line, and these, we might see some better talent and some guys that are going to put on a show. I also heard today that maybe they'll invite just regular Joes, and they'll come in and they'll be able to come in and put on an amazing show, because we get viral videos all the time of these younger guys putting on crazy dunk shows at playgrounds around the world. But yeah, I think they're going to have to change it up, because that was really, really tough to watch.
Yeah, it was really tough to watch. And now, as you just pointed out, we do have professional dunkers. So if your NBA guys can't do more incredible dunks than what we already see on YouTube, it loses a lot of steam, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it just does. Because you're just like, well, I've seen a version of that dunk done way better than what that NBA guy can do.
Yeah,
which is it's not a good look. Just not a good look.
Yeah, and I also noticed that Cole Anthony hurt his thumb, jammed it on one of the dunk attempts, and the NBA owners and general managers and people that run these teams, they don't want these guys getting hurt just doing some crazy maneuvers. I was definitely myself cheering for Cole Anthony. Big fan of Greg Anthony, as he was a longtime Grizzly, and got to know him quite well when he was here. Amazing to see, these guys, kids in the league now. And it was kind of cool when he put on the Timbs and, was trying to do a throwback kind of a move, but it fell flat for sure. And it usually hasn't. It's usually been able to deliver a lot of great moments, but not on this weekend for sure.
No, flat is a good descriptor of how this particular dunk contest was. It was flat, and it just didn't add anything to All-Star Weekend, like at all. In fact, it probably took away something.
Yeah. I did love the 3-point shootout. It was fun. A lot of great guys that were in this competition. But Karl Anthony Towns said, I'm the best big man long ball shooter in league history, and I'm going to prove it. And he was able to take the victory, getting 29 points in the second round after they had eliminated a bunch of the other guys. He was the actual underdog going into all of it. He was the guy with the longest odds to win it. I was kind of surprised that he pulled it off after all these young guards and hot shot shooters were included, but Karl Anthony Towns was the champ.
Yeah, he was the champ. I'm just going to say this. Got lucky, though, because two guys weren't in there that could probably beat him. One is Clay and one is Steph.
Right.
But Steph already did his thing for 16 threes in a game. So, whatever. But I'll give Karl Anthony Towns this. He's one heck of a shooter when it comes to long distance for a big man. Because I'm trying to go through my brain. He may be the first big man to win the 3-point competition.
Yeah.
Unless Dirk Nowitzki won it one year, which I don't remember. But I think he may be the first.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I did enjoy the skills competition, and I thought they did a really neat way of including the teams. They had the team rookies, which was Scotty Barnes for the Toronto Raptors, Cade Cunningham from the Detroit Pistons, and Josh Giddey from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then they had the team Cavs, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley, the hometown Cavaliers team. And then they had the 3 Antetokounmpos, which was pretty neat. I was kind of cool that they decided to put these 3 teams together, and I was entertained. I was impressed, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. It was extremely entertaining, and I love the fact that there's 3 Antetokounmpos. You know what? I kind of wished they had put the 3 Antetokounmpos in there and the 3 Holidays in there, and that would have been pretty sweet. Because it would have been super neat, right? Because how many times in league history have you had 3 brothers, 2 sets of 3 brothers in the league?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever happened before, to be honest
with you. Good call. Hopefully they can pull that off next year, but that was fun. So there was a lot of fun aspects of the weekend. I definitely know that Chris Paul's broken thumb was probably one of the biggest stories about the upcoming second half, though. Everybody was pretty shocked to hear that he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken thumb. And Phoenix had raced out to the best record in the NBA. On the heels of their final run last year, they do have a 6.5 game lead over the Warriors currently, but this is a huge blow for them. And he might not even be up to game speed by the time he recovers fully, and the playoffs will be starting right around the time he comes back.
It sucks. The timing for this injury is absolutely horrible, but I think Phoenix is a strong enough team that they can weather the storm without him for this 4 to 6 week span. And hopefully by the time he does come back, he'll have some time to properly get himself back into game shape, or as much as he can. But he's a veteran. He's been here before. I have utmost confidence that he'll still be able to do Chris Paul type things, even in the playoffs, once he comes back.
Yeah. Phoenix did win 4 games that Chris Paul was not part of last year. They won 2 games in the playoffs that he wasn't able to suit up for. So they have had a few games where he wasn't there, but yeah, this is a big, massive blow. And yeah, I think I don't know what to expect from them, but this will give Golden State an opportunity to catch them in the standings. They only have to win half of their games, and they're still going to win 60. So that's how good of a start they had. So yeah, they're still going to be in the upper echelon, probably 1 or 2 when it's all said and done. The other move that was made over the All-Star weekend was Goran Druggage signed with the Brooklyn Nets and provides some backup for them. I think this was a hell of a great move. He didn't get any opportunity in Toronto, but this is a really good player. He played with Steve Nash in Phoenix, knows some of the guys that are on that team, and I think it was brilliant bringing him in.
It's a smart move because he's a really good player. He's always been a really good player. What he brought to the table just didn't match what the Raptors wanted to do with their team at that point in time. Doesn't mean that he wasn't a good player. Doesn't mean that he didn't deserve to be on the court. He's a very good player. So I think that just makes the Nets that much better. And hopefully their savior, KD, can come back sooner than later from his injury, because it's pretty clear they need him to win.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I want to mention something in the basketball world. Juwan Howard got himself into trouble over the weekend. Michigan was playing against Wisconsin. They finished the game and they went to do a post-game handshake. Some words were exchanged, a little bit of a shove or two, and then all of a sudden, Juwan Howard kind of lost it. Partially punched a guy, but sort of more of a push. He's been suspended for the rest of the season. Their team has been fined $40,000, and this is definitely a bad look on a guy that was receiving a ton of praise for him coming in and rejuvenating this Michigan program, going back to his former alma mater. And this was tough to see, tough to watch, and has had many people call for a stop to these post game handshakes. Maybe this is a time of the past, and we should just go to our separate locker rooms, and even because some guys don't take losing very well, and obviously Juwan was one of these guys.
I'm still curious on what was said that just literally set him off on a road where he knows better. You know not to do that. You're supposed to be setting an example for these young men, but instead what you do is, I'm throwing down right now. Let's do this. Like, what are you doing, man? You can't do that. You can't do that. And you know what? You know what it actually reminded me of, unfortunately, as unfortunate the incident was? It reminded me of the Malice in the Palace.
Wow.
That's what it reminded me of. Because all of a sudden it just blew up into a thing. And it was just a huge Donnybrook. That's what it looked like to me. Like, where I'm like, what is this, a movie? Is that what they're doing right now? Like, it was crazy. It was nuts. And you can't do that. But at the same time, I think the tradition of shaking hands after the game, I think that's something that should stay. I think that's just sportsmanship. That's sportsmanship 101. And if you can't shake hands with the team that you've just gone to war with, then I think there's something wrong with that. I think there's something very wrong with that.
Yeah, good call. I like the handshakes after games. I've always liked it when they do it in hockey after a series. I'm actually, I do like the sportsmanship aspect of it. And it was quite shocking, pretty surprising. The school has been the one that suspended him for the rest of the year, and the $40,000 fine is the largest in conference history ever. He has apologized, and he has a big statement. I'm going to place a link onto our website so you can take a look. But this is an unfortunate incident, and hopefully he'll learn from this, and we won't see anything like this. Hopefully yeah, we won't see anything like this from any other coaches, any other players. You know, you got to accept a loss, and yeah, but I do wonder what was said, how it really started, you know, why it was quite shocking. I was quite surprised by it all.
Yeah, so was I, especially when I saw the highlights, and I'm like, wait, is that Jawan Howard? Is he throwing punches? Oh, okay, right on. No, what are you doing?
Yeah,
It was shocked. I was shocked. And again, he should know better. He knows better. And hopefully, going forward, every coach doing college basketball has to know they got to restrain themselves. You can't do that. You just can't do that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, man. Well, this was fun as always. Great to break down the UFC and the NBA All-Star Weekend with you. I'm looking forward to games getting back going. We got Thursday games, so we've got 2 more days this week where we've got no games. But I had a nice long family day weekend. Really great to spend it with you at the end, and I guess looking forward to seeing you sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see each other sometime tomorrow, but probably both of us going to be going to bed super early because we got to get up super early.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Have a great dinner, have a good sleep, and yeah, I'll be in bed early for sure. It's a early wake up call tomorrow.
Yeah, very early wake up call. So you have yourself a great evening, my friend, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks a lot, man. Cheers. Take care.
Cheers.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, thanks everybody for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Another podcast was had. I want to make mention of our partners and sponsors. We've got Anchor FM, the easiest place to make a podcast, phenomenal at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us. If you want to make a podcast, go to Anchor FM. I recommend them heavily. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, first in industry, the technology, performance, and value #1 in the industry, and V350 stick is something that you need. I want to mention Pampas and Possibilities. They are designers of West Coast beautiful things for your home. Go to Pampas and Possibilities on our website. And Forever Living, the health and beauty products made out of aloe vera, really phenomenal products. Go to our website. You'll be able to purchase products at a reduced rate. And thanks for your help partnering and sponsoring us. Yeah, we've got a great week ahead. Happy President's Day, happy Family Day. I hope you had an awesome long weekend. And go to our websites for tons of great content. Love you guys lots. Take care of yourself. Have a really great week ahead. Bye for now.